I knew that if we could get the identity of being the guy with the bad back that lost his dojo and couldn't walk anymore, if we could get that identity out of him, then his chances of healing were going to be a lot better.
What if I told you healing from chronic pain, illness, disease is possible just by using energy work?
Disconnect from your mind and disconnect from your emotions and try to transcend this world and go to nirvana, if you will.
So tell us about Qigong.
I like to describe it as a full body prayer.
Let this pain be our pain. It's not your pain.
It got so bad, I made a deal with the divine that day that if I could be healed, I would dedicate my life to help other people get out of pain. And I felt the energy between my hands and it blew my mind. What are these weird people doing?
Hey loves, do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe or follow button wherever you are tuning into this. It helps grow the show more than you know. Thank you so much again and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Neeta, and this is your Oasis, your destination for all things being just a little bit more brave in your actions, in your relationships, and in your life. I'm the host of The Brave Table, and if you are tuning in for the first time, you are in for a treat because today we are braving energy healing, energy work, Qigong, and the mystery of how to begin healing internally. My guests today, both of them, are a dynamic super couple. They have been in the field of energetic work, Qigong, healing, dance, movement, and they are founders of a method called the Satori Method. And they are here today not only as Trisbrina, but they are pioneers of the energetic movement that has been sweeping people across the globe. There are millions of students around the world tune in to their courses, their offerings weekly to begin healing from the inside out. Now, they are not only personal friends, they are our relationship goals. Yes, Tristan Truscott and Sabrina Truscott. A little bit about them. They are the founders of the Satori Method, a comprehensive mind, body, spirit training system. They have combined their extensive experience through martial arts, dance, meditation, energy healing to create programs aimed at enhancing physical vitality, mental clarity, and spiritual awakening. I kind of like to call them the Barbie and Ken of the spiritual world because not only do they exude this from the outside in, they are some of the most generous, kind, and really living and breathing the truest essence of what our energy work can do and how we can actually take it out and live that on our Dharma and more. Together, they offer a variety of programs, workshops designed to help individuals and businesses improve their overall well-being. They are also known for their engaging online presence, including their Trisbrina wellness show, where they share insights on energy healing and mind-body fitness. Now, in today's episode, we talk about the powerful dynamic of what love can look like, in how Tristan's back pain that almost took him out completely and ended his life actually saved his life through the powerful elements of energy work. What is energy work? What is Satori? How can we actually use energy or Qigong even in our daily lives? And how the importance of having a spiritual practice is one of the foremost keys to unlocking the greatest relationship that we can have ever with our bodies, with our mind, to shift and change the way that we live, the way that we walk into the universe, the way that we can have relationships and friendships in our lives. So you are going to get so much out of these two today and so much more. I think you're going to really love and get a sense of what braving Qigong and adding energy work, if you haven't already, into your life. So buckle up. This one is such a juicy episode as we sit with Tristan and Sabrina on the Brave Table. Oh, hi, you two.
Well, hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. I love how, this color combination is working here.
It just happened.
There's
no planning on it.
if we're watching this on YouTube, my two favorite people finally.
Aww.
Finally.
Thank you.
So we have a lot to cover, and you both have not only an incredible journey of love, and there's so much light when you both enter a room together separately. And I want to say that you two are one of our favorite, dearest friend couples here in Austin. And, even from the very first time I met you guys, probably like 7 years ago at an ATL.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. Couples goals, relationship goals, like in every way. There's Ken and Barbie, legit Ken and Barbie. And so you both know this. Ajit and I are we're so fond of you guys from a spiritual level and just friendship level. And I know that there was a point where that wasn't the case for both of you. And so let's go through that journey. How did Trisbrina become Trisbrina? And you both have individual journeys of your healing to get to be one of the pioneer energy healers in this space. So take us through that.
Ooh.
Well, Ken, why don't you give your version and then Barbie can correct you.
And that's how we roll. Oh, the journey. I have to go back a little bit to the beginning of seeing this beautiful soul sitting in a meditation class in California. We were both soul searching back then in our early 20s.
Wow.
We've known each other a minute. So we're probably like 22-ish. And she's at the front of the room meditating, the perfect posture. And I was going to meditation to avoid being so distracted by all things, including pretty girls. I was going to be spiritual. And well, that went out the window.
Yeah.
But no, we met in this meditation class community, and our focus was on awakening, on knowing who we are above and beyond all the fragmented focus. And being young and being a seeker back then, I think we both already had a lot of experiences in life. Sabrina was acting at the time. I'd already got my black belt. I had my martial arts school. I just was looking for something deeper. I loved nature. I loved surfing. And I had so many questions. Who am I? The ultimate question. What's going on? What's the purpose of all of this? So that's how we met, and we became really, really good friends. And we spent so many years together meditating, going on retreats, doing all types of service. And it was a blast. And we ended up both living in Austin, Texas. And I grew a martial arts school. I had the largest martial art dojo in Austin. I ran it for 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a full-on dedicated mission. And Sabrina was running dance, fitness schools, and doing competitive ballroom. And of course, she'll share with you that journey. On this part of the journey, I was taking her ballet classes because she's such a phenomenal dancer. And I wanted to be better at kicking and my stretch, and wanted to get closer to Sabrina.
And see me in a leotard.
So I danced behind Sabrina for years.
Oh my goodness.
At the bar, doing all the moves, and it was amazing. But I was really pushing myself very hard back then. I was probably now in my 30s, and I was pushing my body to the highest level I could. And
Let me catch up.
Okay.
So when we first met in that meditation class, I was not seeking a relationship. Absolutely not interested at all. I only wanted, like, who am I? And it was not the beginning of my journey. I had been brought up Christian. I had dated a Buddhist and studied Buddhism. I read Shirley MacLaine's books, and then I saw in the newspaper she was doing a workshop.
Wow.
It was 3 hours, one for the mind, body, and spirit, and it was $300, and it was with her. I took that. There was only like 30 of us in the class, and I was going to every workshop, everything I could find, past life regression, harmonic conversions. If I wasn't on the set, I was in some type of spiritual growth. So when I found this group of people who were meditating, and they were young, and they would sing and dance and celebrate God consciousness, that's what I was interested in. And so Tristan was there. I wasn't looking for a boyfriend. I did end up dating the assistant meditation teacher.
As you do.
Of course.
As you do. Yeah, because the main teacher was gay. And I go for power. No. And so we had this friendship based on both of this longing to who am I? And that's the same thing that got me into acting, and then to leave acting is I wasn't comfortable being whoever this person is that is called me, but I was really comfortable playing that character.
Sure.
And being on that comedy
Sure.
and going through that drama and expressing myself as an actress, because as a person, I didn't do that. I was more socially awkward and had a lot of anxiety and perfectionism, eating disorders. So that spiritual search was to like calm down that anxiousness that never went away, that not enoughness that never went away. I got a role on TV. All that meant was, are you going to be good enough to get another one? Everyone's going to be watching. You know,
And you were the lead in all of these.
Yes, I was usually a guest star, and then modeling, you know, or and doing swimsuit and lingerie modeling. It's not, you're just never quite enough. There's always a place that could be smaller and a place that could be bigger. So this really being so hard on myself. So looking for a love that is bigger and beyond all of that. And so we shared that hunger and that drive, and we sort of became leaders to the other meditators. And that's how we really started, I think, becoming closer friends.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, so she's catching you up, and now you're taking her classes in Austin.
Yeah.
What happens next?
The dojo is expanding. It's, as I mentioned, gotten really, really big, very successful. And I always wanted to know that what I was teaching was going to work in the real world, right? So if a girl's going off to college, have I prepared her? Is she going to be able to survive an assault? Or a kid getting picked on in school? Can I know for sure that I gave them the tools? Or a mommy? So we started wearing suits, these full body suits where they could beat the you-know-what out of us and really go for it. And we created scenarios, because what we knew from assaults is that usually fear enters the body, enters the brain, and the person shuts down and they can't find their body. They numb out. They don't know what to do. So we created scenarios so that they could work through that and then punch and kick and fight back. So I did that for many, many years, and my body took a beating from wearing the suits. But I was so happy that they were kicking my butt, because I felt like I did the right thing. I taught them what to do. And one day I was teaching a women's self-defense class, and I was just like always teaching a knee-elbow combination movement, and something in my back went out. And I'd had a lot of pain in my back for a while, but I just kept using meditation, kind of like if you're driving your car and the red light goes on that says, check the engine oil. Well, rather than looking under the hood, I was cutting the signals with meditation. And I stopped listening to my body. And that was actually something that I learned from a spiritual teacher that was very not helpful. They said, disconnect from your mind and disconnect from your emotions and try to transcend this world and go to nirvana, if you will. And so I was trying to be this good disciple of this practice. Meanwhile, I was not listening to my body. So something went out in my back. I could not stand up that night in my class. They carried me out of my dojo. And for months, I couldn't even get out of the bed.
Oh, wow.
So this is where Sabrina really stepped in even more, because she saw me trying to, like the other ballet students would go to the swimming pool and exercise after class. I couldn't even walk up the stairs to get in the water.
Wow.
In fact, I was one day walking to get in the pool, and I turned back around and you came to see me.
Yeah, I was already at the pool. I remember it so clearly. And he drove a Jeep and had a handicap sticker, and he was hobbling like a cripple. So young, so athletic. That's how I knew him. And that identity was so slipping away after years that I saw him turn around, and I just felt like he's not going to make it. How is he going to survive losing everything he knows himself as, his business, his identity, his athleticism, his strength? And he can't even be with the other meditators and friends because he's not able to move. He can barely drive a car. And so I got up from my friends, and I just walked over to his car and I tapped on his window, and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to see you in so much pain. And what if it wasn't just your pain? What if it could be our pain? Because instinctually, I knew that if we could get the identity of being the guy with the bad back that lost his dojo and couldn't walk anymore, if we could get that identity out of him, then his chances of healing were going to be a lot better. But as long as he was the guy with the bad back, it wasn't going to be able to heal. And so that's when we sort of became Trisbrina, and then together started working and trying everything to get him his body back again.
I just love that you said, let this pain be our pain. It's not your pain.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's our pain. And that's the beginning of your evolution as Trisbrina.
Mm-hmm.
She was my angel that showed up when I was at the bottom, just as you mentioned, identity and losing my way. And I remember sitting in the Jeep, just so sad, so depressed, and so mad at myself, all these split emotions running through. So, because I was a meditator, I understood the power of the mind. I should be able to heal myself. But I had gone to doctors that told me how bad it was. And there's a saying that the diagnosis can be worse than the disease. So we've all heard of the placebo effect, and you believe in something, it's going to help rebuild you. Well, the opposite is true, the nocebo. So as soon as they told me about all these bad things and showed me x-rays, my body started to break down even more. My mind started to attack. And that's what she saw, somebody at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so she was that breath of fresh air that said, I needed that so bad. It was so beautiful what she did for me.
Wow. And so you're at this breaking point, and then what tends to happen then now that you kind of come together as this power union? Like what starts to change, and take us into that next chapter?
Well, even though we were dealing with a very tough situation, we had so much fun. We've always had so much fun.
She made me laugh again.
I made him laugh again, and playful and learning. You know, it's like something to do together was to study the body, to study the joints, to study energy, and to be there to support each other. Because when I saw him, the reason I felt that pull was, I think, because of a sense of purpose, but also I saw myself. I had known myself as the one that's worthy of the doingness, the one that has the body, the one that is capable. And if I lost that, who would I be? So I was also healing my own self as we worked together. But we started having adventures and playfulness. And I'll just tell this one hilarious story. So we're about to go on our first out-of-town date.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, we're going to get on a plane. And that's a big deal because, you know, travel. He was in a wheelchair sometimes at the airport. So he says, yeah, we're going to go out of town. And what was the state you took me to?
Missouri.
Wow.
Oh, great. We're going to Missouri for 2 nights. And he booked everything, and we get there.
It was a special event
It
was
was a
happening
special
there.
conference. And in the
Hot
first
energy.
day, we walk in, and it's a huge ballroom full of people on a stage, and it is an EFT convention.
Oh my gosh.
Emotional freedom technique. So
which
you
is
walked in.
which is fine, but not what I thought was going to be
She had
happening.
no idea, because I knew if I told her, she probably wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So sneaky,
true.
sneak.
So everybody is saying their chants,
Their
and,
affirmations and their
Even
tapping.
though
yeah.
that,
and I had been
powerful.
around so much affirmation and so much spirituality. I was on a break. So when I was in there and the whole room is saying in unison these things, I was like, I'm going to go outside for a minute. And so I went out in the lobby. And when I was in the lobby, I saw through these glass doors this man I thought was the caterer, and he was knocking on the door to get in. And I thought, should I let him in? He had on a black shirt with the Nehru collar and the toggles and black pants. And I thought, why isn't the staff letting him in? I'm going to go ahead and let him in. So I let him in, and we have this really fun exchange, and we're laughing, and then I go back in the room, and they're introducing the guest of the entire EFT event, this Qigong master,
Oh my
who is in town from China, and it's him. And he starts telling how he met this blonde girl out in the lobby that let him in, and so he and I are like friends from a different way, which is so perfect, because then Tristan got to have some special one-on-ones with him.
It was a beginning of a fun
But
journey
that was
together of
such a
energy work.
romantic weekend.
Oh my goodness. You got to have growth involved. I mean, obviously, say yes to all the adventure.
Absolutely. Say yes to EFT and yes to Qigong and yes to possibility and explore.
Oh, we love to do personal growth, relationship, not even relationship oriented, just experiences together.
Wow.
It's important to grow together, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I feel like, so this is beginning the foundation of now the framework
Yes.
that you've
Yeah.
taught millions of people around the world.
Yes.
And you're now stepping into, so the, this time is not only monumental for you both, but you start to get open to Qigong.
Yeah.
And so tell us about Qigong.
Qigong. Oof. It's the grandfather of Tai Chi. It's ancient. It's thousands of years old. And truth be told, I wasn't interested in these energy arts because I was from the old school fighting martial arts style. We punch, we hit, that's energy. But you would hear about people like pushing energy and people falling over. And I just thought that was a bunch of foo-foo. So I had a lot of judgment. Who's getting the last laugh? So I was at the bottom of the rope, right? Like I've tried everything. And in fact, when Sabrina stepped in and said, it's our back pain, she went to work, man. Like she helped me find all the best healers. So I tried everything under the sun to heal my back. At a certain point, we even said, okay, I think we're going to do surgery. So we went to Beverly Hills, top doctors, did a back surgery. And I was worse off after that.
No.
Worse off. They put me in this corset. I could barely move. I atrophied. I lost all my muscle.
Oh.
And there was one day I was crawling on the floor. I couldn't get on the toilet. I couldn't even get on the toilet. That was the day that it got so bad. My story is I made a deal with the divine that day that if I could be healed, I would dedicate my life to help other people get out of pain.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very significant day because so much of the journey up until then had been about fixing me. I'm broken, my body. It was very physically oriented. But when I made this deal with the divine laying on the ground, and I could hear my karate teacher's voice telling me about how important it is to keep going, I said, okay, I will help others. And that's what's significant is I flipped it from me to we.
Yeah.
And how can I use this to serve? And within 2 weeks, I pull into this health food area store, and there's a Whole Foods here in Austin and somewhere called Book People. And they had those big new age book flyer boards, billboards, thank you. And there was a flyer from a guy visiting from China doing one of these energy art seminars called Qigong. And I said, you know what? I've poo-pooed this long enough. I hear that it's connected to the monks, fighting monks from the Shaolin Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a go. So I went and I took this workshop on the ground, Qigong workshop.
Wow.
And I felt the energy between my hands.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, I'd never felt Qi, and it blew my mind. And that was it. I was like, I'm hooked. So I asked him, can I please study with you while you're here? So every week I do private lessons with him. And that, when we're the same way, if we find something we love and you're the same way, we're after it. We're going all in.
Going in fully.
Going deep, right?
Yeah, chewing that bone.
So I went deep. And Sabrina had a little dance studio at her house. So I would go and practice every day.
Mm.
And I would make the moves and I would do them. And I was starting to feel hopeful because up until then, I couldn't even stand for 2 minutes at a time.
Oh, wow.
So now after taking the Qigong on the ground, I was able to stand and feel more stability. And then I'd go upstairs to where we were more than friends. We weren't married. And I would lay on her bed and I would just put my hands on my heart and I would say, thank you. And I would feel grateful. And something that the Qigong teacher taught me about how energy can flow from the top of your head through your body.
Mm-hmm.
And in yoga, that central line they call the Shushumna.
Yeah.
In Qigong is known as the Chungmai.
Chumai.
Chungmai.
Okay,
He
Chumai.
taught me to visualize a golden thread of light moving through the center of the body. You can move it both ways. And while I was laying there, another thing that Sabrina and I did during the healing journey is we went and saw this movie when it came out called What the Bleep.
Oh, yes.
Remember What the
I
Bleep?
love that. I love that.
So
yes.
good,
I
right?
remember that.
And they had all the animations of how the brain releases neuropeptides and they go down, they attach on receptor sites on cells and release information. So I got this idea. What if I see little tiny neural peptides, molecules, interweaving with this light, flushing through my body? Now, while I was laying on the bed, don't forget I had my hands on my heart. This is all kind of significant. And this leg was, left leg was totally numb, and I couldn't feel the bottom of my foot.
For years.
For years. And I felt something moving, and it was weird. And I felt it go into where the surgery was and into the back where it just felt like so blocked. And it went, whew, it shot through the energy area of the surgery and like an energy cyst. It shot down my leg, went all the way to the bottom of my foot, and my foot started tingling and burning. And I'm just crying now because I finally unlocked this thing that had been blocked for so long. And within 2 months after that healing that took place, I was back in my dojo teaching again.
No.
That's how fast it turned around. So you asked about Qigong. That's why I love Qigong, because it saved my life. Well, started here. But anyway, there's the beginning of Qigong for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you have this powerful experience.
Right.
And you made this commitment with the divine.
Yes.
That if you are healed, you will then start to make this your dharma.
Right.
So how does that then show up in the work that you
How do we do it?
then were committing to?
Well, I think at first it was about physical healing to get Tristan his body back. And as we started studying and learning and growing and expanding, we realized that energy is everything. There's the energy of your thoughts. There's the energy of your body. There's the energy of a relationship. And starting really to see how all the parts needed to work together. What happened with Tristan's healing, the gratitude from the heart was needed. That energy of gratitude, the identity shift of not being the guy with the broken back, which took time. It took time to release that story from the conscious mind. And then realizing what the Satori Method, we have a map, in the center of the map is really what we consider the pieces, the holistic nature of energy. And it is that through heart center, which for us is spiritual connection, that's absolutely the center. But it does it moves through the conscious mind. What are the thoughts? What are the people? What are you listening to? What are you learning? The conscious thoughts, what you're aware of. And then the subconscious, what are the habits? What are the limiting beliefs?
Old stories.
Faith, possibility, probability. And then the physical body, right? The meat, the bones, the joints. And then this energy body. The energy body that we tapped into through EFT and through Qigong, that there's two minds, conscious mind and subconscious, the seen and the unseen. And then there's two bodies, the physical and the energetic. And all of those pieces connected through heart center, we display it on our map as a figure 8, as the energy moving through all of those, that is at the core of our method and modality. Qigong, for me, I like to describe it in the way that we move in Satori Method as a full body prayer.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Like if
beautiful.
Tristan was across the world, I can love him. I can talk to him.
What do you mean by that?
I just mean if he was physically on the other side of the world. And prayer can sometimes feel like that, like you're praying to something far away that you love. But it's so much more fun when they're right next to you and you can hug them and kiss them and cuddle them and smell them and tickle, right? And you get all that. It feels so juicy because your body is involved. And that's when bringing in the physical movement and consciously knowing how to move the energy makes that prayer so sexy and so intimate and so playful and so fun. The body wants to express.
Yeah.
And to be part, the body is spiritual. The body's always listening. It's always eavesdropping on what we're thinking. So moving the body as a full body prayer, whether it's to heal physically or emotionally or as part of a way that you blossom with the relationship, you know, all of those pieces are needed. And that's at the center of the method, that it isn't one, so in meditation, we just focused on transcending the body and connecting to something higher. And we both got really good at that. And we kind of call that now lollipop syndrome, because we're just really top heavy and kind of spacey. Nothing's going to bother us.
Right.
Right. And then with the Qigong, that brought the physical in, which really helps ground that. Where both of us were athletes before, but it was in a separate box. Like over here is where I move. And then this other room is where I pray or meditate, whatever your practice is. And in this other room is where I work on my manifestation and my law of attraction and my personal development. But they need to be together. They need to live in harmony as one.
And so I love that you just described this as like a movement prayer, almost like a movement prayer practice. And so I kind of, there's a few ways that I want to take this, and what's coming up is, let's define what is Satori. And because I mean, I know of Kensho and Satori, but if you can first describe why the Satori method, why did we name it? What is Satori? And then, you know, the second thing that I want to kind of double click on is, for those who are suffering through maybe a major block in energy, or have had chronic pain for years, and they were at your low point, and they are like listening, and they're like, what? I can't even believe that he could heal through Qigong. Like, what is this? Like, no medication, surgery. Wait, that didn't work. So if they're so like blown away because of what you just shared, what do you think is the reason why people aren't able to heal?
All right, that's a juicy one. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is Satori first? The word is a beautiful Zen word. It means awakening, spiritual awakening. Think of it as an epiphany, the ultimate aha, where everything becomes clear beyond your mind. Lisa Nichols says, when you know, like you know, like you know, right? You're so embodied in your knowing. A Satori can happen in your body. You just know stuff, right? This intelligence of the body. I'm back. I'm in my body. This is my holy house. Yes, this feels true to me. And then you have the awakening of your mind. I feel so present, so focused, so clear. I'm laser. There's no fragmented focus anymore. Very Zen, right? And then there's an awakening of consciousness, which there's so many degrees of ourselves, our own consciousness, from lower to higher vibrations. And so for us, Satori is a method of awakening the consciousness within the body, within the mind, and within the soul. So it's completely integrated. It's very inclusive. Any other system that you've practiced that you love, it actually fits into the method. So it's super cool. And the mapping system's really, really rad. It's from, if we unpacked it further, it's from the yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang.
When you take the oneness, the enso, the infinity, and you break it into the two, the yin and the yang, and you marry them into that symbol, that shows that the mind and the body came from soul. But as you know, as you said, you have two minds and two bodies. So our map looks like these 5 circles, and it's connected to the yin and the yang. Okay, so the other part of your question, in addition to what is Satori and what is this method, is for someone who maybe has just heard this, or like, wow, this healing has taken place. WTF, how did this happen? What's going on? Well, because of this method, we can look through different lenses, which is what's needed in healing, because it's not always a physical issue. Yes, issues get trapped in the tissues, but they often start in the mind and emotional discord. So we believe that emotions, which are beautiful teachers, are how you read your energy flow. So every time you feel an emotion, if you could sit with it and listen to it, it actually is trying to tell you something. It's trying to bring you back to the center of this little line of balance, which we call the flow line. So you're like too far to the left or too far to the right, that's going to get painful. The energy of pain can pull you back if you listen to it. So what we do in Satori Method, because most people that come to our work are experiencing some type of physical discord, physical pain like me, low energy, sleep issues. It might be emotional too, feeling sad, feeling depressed, feeling very angry, feeling blocked, feeling shut down, feeling lonely, feeling disconnected, right? Many, many lenses to look through. But when you're healing, if you go through the physical body, we find that to be the best door to go through. Meet the pain where the pain is at. Don't disconnect. Don't cut that wire like I was and stop listening to it. And going through the mind is harder, Personal development, we love personal development, but oftentimes we'll do all this amazing personal development. We'll do all the affirmations, the visualization, all these things, and yet the pain comes back or the old story's still there. What is it? We think it's trapped in the body. See, energy gets lodged and blocked and stagnant in the physical body. This is the beauty of Qigong. And so what Qigong does is it opens up the tissue, the connective tissue of the body known as fascia. And fascia gets dehydrated. When our bodies are inflamed and too hot, it sticks together. When we don't move it enough, it gets sluggish. It's supposed to be a gelatinous, lubricant type of tissue, and it moves and slides, and it feels so good when your fascia is free. But when it's not, it messes up information flow. Fascia is considered the secondary nervous system in the body.
Wow.
It's the largest organ of the body. We used to say it was the skin. It's actually the fascia. It coats your organs, your muscles. It flows through them around your tendons, your ligaments, your bones. Fascia's everywhere. What Qigong figured out was if we lengthen, stretch, squeeze, and release this tissue, we can bring it back to life. You have to hydrate your body when you do this. And then your fascia comes back to life. And guess what lies inside the fascia? The energy channels. They run through this tissue. They get pinched off when the fascia is tight or distorted. So now what happens with the right approach to Qigong is you open up the fascia and you actually start to feel the Qi. You can feel it flowing through your arms. You can feel it in your hands. You have these pools of energy in these energy centers, or like the yogis have the little nadis. There's like, 72,000 nadis in the body. Your energy system comes back online. We like to say that life force is the lifeline to the divine, because we're talking about that consciousness. Your consciousness raises up. And when your body feels good, you start thinking good. Because most people know, I have a thought, I'm going to have a corresponding feeling. Thoughts become feelings, and feelings cause us into certain action. What if you could make your body feel good and now your thoughts upgrade? So your mind's not just in your brain, your mind's in your body as well. So that personal development now becomes embodied, and you start to feel your personal development through the body. So I would say it's super exciting, because as you start going through your body, you're going to start relinquishing and resolving a lot of those old thought patterns that have been holding you back.
Oh. Okay. So, and I want to just kind of, if you could take us through just a tiny, like a little taste, because I know that you have a freebie for us that I'm going to link in the show notes of,
Qigong
kind
for
of
beginners.
Like, a little taste of Qigong. Yeah. All I know is that when I go to my kids, his Aikido class, they do a little bit of the Qi where you kind of take your breathing and then you're just like, showering yourself with your energy. What's one that everyone who's watching this on YouTube, or if you're not, definitely want to go to YouTube and watch this, so we can give them a taste, but then we'll link your Qigong for beginners.
I love what you said that your son is doing, because those teachers are not just having them do the moves, but they're giving them a visualization. They're helping them know what to pay attention to, where to put their attention, and giving them an intention. And that's why it is so powerful. Like if you just do the moves as you're worrying about your back hurting, part of it is, where are you placing your mind? What are you doing with your mind? What are you doing with your breath? And having an action like Qigong, which is so beautiful, it gives your mind a job. It gives you something to think about, because sometimes you just can't get relief from that thought that's bugging you. You know, these thoughts that people have, like, my mom had this and now I have it. She says it never goes away. I wonder if my kids have it. It's spread on her. It probably will on me too. I've always been this way. I don't think I can change. Maybe we have. So how do you can't stop that if that's your habit. So just kind of like having a break from it, where you experience this different frequency of energy, and you experience this, it's beautiful. It's big. It's bigger than your body. You feel yourself as something bigger than you. Your body is your holy house, and your breath is like its ventilation system. And you are not that same, I'm not that same woman with all those problems and all those responsibilities. I'm a different person. So my solutions to my problems are different. That's one of the reasons I love it so much, is I'm so easy on myself now. I'm not so hard. I'm not so hard on myself. I'm worthy of love for no reason at all. And if I'm good at stuff, yay. Right?
Oh, I love that you just said that. I'm worthy of love without any reason at all.
For no reason at all.
For no reason at all.
Just because I am.
Some ideas around these exercises to make it a little bit more tangible. And of course, the free training is available to everybody. Since I can't really get up and move at this point, some ideas.
Yeah.
Bouncing up and down and shaking your body, freeing your fascia.
Freeing your fascia.
Freeing your fascia,
Okay.
shaking your hands, bringing them up over your head, shaking them down. And you're breathing while you're doing this, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Maybe one more time. What are these weird people doing?
If you're just tuning in.
Tapping on your tissue. So we'll show you how to do this in the free training. But what you're doing is you're stimulating that tissue, that connective tissue that lies underneath the skin. You're also stimulating the bones a little bit as you're tapping. As you're shaking, you're stimulating your lymphatic vessels. So like even after just doing that shaking, if you just hold your hands like you are, which is beautiful, and if you take your mind, because you said about the mind is so important, awareness is everything. Breathe into your palms and stretch your skin and stretch your hands out just a little. That's it. And then relax them. And then just put them on your lap. And then just feel like you're placing your mind in the center of your palms. And then just breathe as if you're breathing through your palms. I know that's a stretch, but you can do it. Imagine that your palms are receiving energy. And now some people, what they'll feel is the very center of their palm, right in the middle, there's a gate. It's called the Lao Gong. It'll start to tingle and throb, and then you can hold your hands towards each other and play with them. And there's lots of different things that you can do. The point is this: for Qigong to work, you have to incorporate the body, you have to incorporate awareness, and you have to incorporate breathing. Those three things together. So when you start marrying those together, you open up the Qi channels. Now, what do you do with the Qi? Well, I used it to flush through my body and help heal an area that was blocked for a long time. But you can take the energy, you can put it in your body, and we get emotions stuck in different areas of the body, especially in the tummy for a lot of us. And so if this is a really interesting concept around energy and consciousness, if we are on high alert and survival instincts are firing all the time in these lower areas, it is very hard for this energy to rise. And that's the propensity of energy. It wants to rise. Yeah. It's a raising of consciousness. So if there's fear in the body or agitation in the body, the energy gets stuck down there and it can't move up. And it really needs to move to the heart. Remember, we were talking about earlier, hands on heart, feeling grateful. This area is the great amplifier as well. This is your master feeling center. So when we feel moved and we feel, oh, it's so beautiful, right? Or, oh, I feel so blocked and hurt. So this area will block the energy from rising if it's fear-based. It says, I don't trust you, and that heart will lock it down. And so you'll stay stuck in those lower vibrations. But if you can nurture and heal this area that I'm pointing to that's down at the lower belly with breath work and with movement and with awareness, the heart gate will open and the energy will rise. And you can actually, with your awareness, start to pull the Qi up. That's what the yogis were doing with pranayama. They were pulling the life force, the prana, up. And then it matures in the heart center. So this is an important concept as well. Wow. When the energy moves into the heart literally nurtures the Qi. And the Qi turns into something called Shen. Shen is pure essence, it's pure spirit. And when the heart opens, it starts to inform the brain. And anyone who's studying brain-heart coherence gets this, that the heart has a knowing of its own, and it can start to inform you and opens this creative door. And the energy rises up now into the brain, and you get the glow. You're filled with energy and Shen, and you just start to see a higher connected human being that has more joy, more presence, more smiling. And the smile, by the way, it helps pull the Qi up. So smile more.
And less reactive, less defensive, less fearful.
Yes. And it sounds like no ego.
The ego's there, but the ego's in balance.
Healthy ego.
It's healthy ego.
Healthy sense of self.
The ego knows its place, and it wants to serve a higher purpose. Purpose, when you're aligned, right? And you know. That aligned purpose. This is it. This is so fascinating. How can we get a hold of the work that you guys are doing? Because I think
this is the whole game changer. The whole Satori method is such a game changer. I think it's nothing like anything we've ever experienced, because it's not only integrating all the affirmations and all the personal growth and Brave Table fam, we talk about this, week after week, but there's also a physical component, and you're activating ancient wisdom.
Totally.
But you're now you have a direction of where we can go with this. And of course it's to activate the healing that lies within us with movement, but also processing the emotions as well.
Yes.
So, and then you get the bonus of the mystical experiences and
the spiritual connection.
Guidance. Guidance where you have thoughts and they're not random. They're your higher self. They're not coming from fear. They're being birthed from love. And the conversation with the energy is so beautiful and so playful. And for me, I've stopped worrying about making the right decision or not making a decision because I'm afraid I'm going to make the wrong one. I just go with where it feels good.
Yeah.
And then the next moment I go with where it feels good.
It's perfect. And so where can we get a hold of your trainings?
We give you a link. Would that work?
Yes, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay. So our website is satorimethod.com, SATORI method.com, and that's where there's a little movie that shows, I call it a documentary.
A documentary.
It's a documentary that shows what happened with Tristan's back and the miraculous healing that took place. And then you can also get a program from us called Chiong for beginners, and that'll give you all the basic stances, basic breath work, basic postures. So you can it's 9 essentials.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you guys have a thriving community. And I mean, you've been doing this for many, many years.
Yeah, we live stream classes to our community who are we call it a virtual dojo.
Oh, I love that. So good. Okay.
So they can log in, and there's up to 4 classes they can attend each week. 2 are very much Qigong and healing Qigong and breath work. And then 2 are what we call energy fitness or fitness fusion, when there's a little bit more focus on the bones, the meat, the muscles, the
it's got dance
physicality.
moves and martial art moves.
Oh, I love it.
Us being very silly.
Weights and bands, everything that you can do from home. So what I love about it is, for decades, I would drive to a class to either teach it or take it.
Yep.
And drive home. And now I'm done before I could have ever made the drive to where I was going in the traffic.
Yeah.
And so many of our students that aren't living in a place where they can take a meditation class, a breathwork class, a Qigong class, a body sculpting class, a weightlifting class. And so now we can put that right in their home and they can attend live or watch replays. That's really where we're excited about expanding so that more people have access to that.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. One question that we end every episode with, where we spill the chai, is what word is really landing with you this season and stage for the both of you, or for each of you?
Mine is faith, and faith as I have never known it before. Just
so beautiful.
As a child of God, as someone who, be love, share love, faith, this knowingness that all is well and everything will be okay, and to trust and be as beautiful as I can, and that everything will be as it is, and to really just live inside of faith. Yeah.
Seems like that's been the core essence of your spiritual practice.
Yeah. And it was probably because I doubted myself so much. How could I have complete faith in something when I had such doubt of myself? So I had to become a different person.
So powerful.
What comes strong for me is blended, the word blended. And what I mean by blended is, over the years, I feel like Tristan has gained access to the best version of Tristan, which feels like love, the divine, God, however someone would like to share that word in their life. I feel like there's a marriage now between me and that energy, and it's happened through this practice. And I love the blended feeling because I'm on purpose and I feel something's working through me at the same time. And over the years teaching, sometimes students will say, how did you know that's what I needed to hear today? Or that was exactly what I wanted. And I think really good teachers, they read the room and they listen and they get out of the way and they allow something to work through them. And that's what it feels like to be blended.
Mm.
Yeah.
Tristan, Sabrina, I learn so much from you both every time we hang out. And I'm so glad you're pouring into our community.
Thank you.
What a pleasure. What an honor to just sit with you both. And Trisbrina, keep doing the work that you're doing. I love you both. Thanks for being here.
And thank you for the work you're doing,
Yes.
sweetheart. You're such a lover and you have a beautiful relationship that, just so you know, we're modeling you guys as well.
Aww.
You navigate relationships so well. We don't have kiddos, we have fur baby, but watching you raise your children and watching you move through the entrepreneurial landscape, and you're just such high caliber conscious human beings. It's an honor to know you guys. So thank you.
And your focus on growth. Growth.
Yeah, you guys.
What's
grew
next?
together.
What's now? How can I expand even more? I love that
Yeah.
about you.
Beautiful.
Aw, I receive. Love you guys. Wow. Welcome back to the other side. Oh my goodness. Now, for those who are definitely curious about this, we have the free guide for you from Tristan and Sabrina that I will link in the show notes. And you can go ahead, check out their website. It's satorimethod.com. That's satorimethod.com. I will also link Tristan and Sabrina's their Facebook group as well as their IG if you want to connect with them. They host live workshops daily and weekly in their membership group. And if you love this episode, if you thought that this episode completely blew you away in the realms of energetic healing, energy work, go ahead and let us know what your favorite part of the episode is and tag us at the Brave Table. Tag myself, Neeta Bhushan. Follow us if you haven't already. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify, go ahead and click that follow button or that subscribe button. It helps us grow the show more than you know, and it helps us get amazing, amazing guests as we grow our community. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I read all the comments, so let me know what you think in the comments below, and stay tuned for another episode. If you are curious to go deeper into your energetic healing journey or maybe other modalities of healing, I've linked 3 additional episodes in the show notes to get your learn on. All right, don't be stingy. Share this episode with a friend and a family member who needs to be a little bit more brave in navigating their health. I will see you next time.